everybody.
Hello.
Hi, this is so nice. Hi, guys. I am really excited to be here. This is my first Impact Summit, and I've known about it through some really great friends of mine and Debbie, who's amazing. So thank you for having me. We're here to talk about something that has affected all of us this year very deeply. This past January, tragedy hit our very own city. From the beach to the cities, wildfires destroyed homes, buildings, and left our families estranged. Out of the ashes, our community rose to the occasion, creating food shelters, clothes drives, shopping areas for basic necessities, and beyond. Today, we are honored to be joined by some of the organizers of these very programs. We wish Stix was with us. He is currently having his baby, so he is not here, but we give him all the love and we say, we love you. He's also incredible. We want to give him some love. Model activist and Emma Young Hollywood board member, Elizabeth Turner, who's absolutely amazing, and Director of Community Relations and Public Affairs at Goodwill, Southern California, Stephanie Medina. Wow, that's an incredible job. Wow. So we are here to discuss how a city comes together after a natural disaster. Something I find really interesting is LA is normally perceived as very scattered. We're spread out. We're all in our own world, which, as we know, is also very true at times. But the response after the fires was immediate, and our community really united and came together. So what was it that called you guys to immediately jump in to help?
Yeah, I could go ahead and start us off. I think we were talking about this backstage, but it was so incredible to see how LA really came together. I mean, every single person, if you were an Angelino, you wanted to help. You had to help, right? This is our home, this is our city. And we were all watching the news and we were all just horrified. So 2 days after the fire started, my best friend who owns a store in Santa Monica on Montana Avenue called me and said, "We've got to do something. Get up. It's time. We've got to do something." And I believe that, our purpose in life is to use our passion to help others, to provide aid and help to others. I am a psychotherapist, a mental health clinician. I work in community mental health at UCLA. So I thought, well, I'm actually kind of equipped to hold space for these people who are in shock and in trauma and in grief. So we opened up a relief facility. We didn't think too much about it. We just opened up the relief facility at the store on Montana. And we had people literally coming straight from the fires. This was their first stop, and their clothes were torn. They literally were covered in ashes, and it was kind of their first stop. So that's kind of what motivated me.
Wow, so you were day one.
2 days, so I think the fire started on the 6th or the 7th, and we opened up on the 8th.
That's
so it was
absolutely
1 or
amazing.
2 days after, yeah.
That's amazing, and it's truly incredible that you were right away, right in that. And how about you, Stephanie?
Well, most of you know Goodwill because of you probably donate, and hopefully some of you shop. It supports all our programs. And what happened is I'm born in LA. My CEO is born in Glendale. He's very close. He was evacuated for just in case, but everything's good. So for us, it was immediate. What can we do? And I watched all the news. I watched everything I could. I read everything I could and said, they're donating so much stuff. They don't need any more right now. They're telling people to stop. So he said, let's do vouchers. So he allocated up to $100,000 in vouchers. So I immediately called the Red Cross. They said, come on down. We started at all the shelters, and we were able to give each person vouchers they could use at our stores. Any store in Southern California, we're all regions, but all the regions in Southern California said, we're in. They even donated money so we could do more vouchers.
Oh, wow.
Each person was given 2 vouchers worth $50 each to start. Man, woman, child, anybody who was impacted in any way. And that's how it really started. We just knew we had to do something. We are from here. We have friends that were losing their homes, are definitely impacted. So many people that, Goodwill's about getting people jobs, but we knew they need this right now, and then they're going to need jobs. A lot of people have lost work as well. So
that's so interesting to me too. Is you took it immediately even a step further. You knew probably from your experience with disaster relief in general and knowing how goodwill is that's a necessary need, that you knew what we need ahead of time. You took it one more step to where we need. And that's what I found so interesting a lot during this with LA was how that happened. I mean, we all came together and found what we needed to continue this. And I know we were talking backstage. When it comes to the relief that you guys have immediately jumped into, what are you doing now to continue that work? As you know, a lot of people, we see it and we think, oh, this is, you know, we're all better now, and it's like, well, no, there's still a lot of work to do. I'd love to hear you guys talk a little bit on that.
Yeah, I mean, we ended up actually just forming a full-blown nonprofit called Sustainable Joy because we realized we can't go anywhere. You know, now I'm in contact with all of these fire survivors, and one thing you and I were talking about is how cool it is that, yes, this is a horrible tragedy and so many people have lost so much, but through that, we've connected with each other and our neighbors and our fellow Angelinos in ways that we may never have. And so now I'm in contact with all these people who I've been helping and serving, and I've been running group therapy support groups for people, and they still need our help. I mean, we think about the stages of grief. It's a long process, and they need us. And we're holding monthly or two times a month events to first, you know, donate, give away clothing items, but also provide healing services like yoga, sound baths, and then the group therapy, the mental health. I think we can't forget about the mental health side of things.
That's incredible that you're doing that, because I do feel like that's we're not giving that as much attention as we needed for the level of loss that we all experienced, and the emotional and the psychological help that probably is still happening and needing to happen. So that's incredible that you are still at work. You are doing this daily.
Yeah, we're doing it, you know, daily, weekly, monthly. And right now, I think as the people who are responding to this disaster, it's our job, it's my job to just continue to listen to the people who have been impacted. So every week I'm like sending out emails and texts saying, what do you need now? What can we do now? What do you need next? I mean, people now have started to settle into homes, and they're actually wanting things like art. They want to make their homes feel like their home. So just by listening, I think if all of us just listen to the people who have been impacted, we will know how we can use our powers and talents and resources to serve.
Stephanie, what are you finding people are needing now?
Well, so many people don't have a permanent home. So, you know, people have said, we want to donate small appliances, and say, you know, they have no place to plug it in yet. It's really mainly clothing and whatever kind of goods they can use now. So that's why when we created these vouchers, it was come to any of our shops, buy anything you want, and they're good to the end of the year. So we see a lot that are being redeemed, particularly in the areas, you know, Santa Monica area and Pasadena, where the fires were, most of them being redeemed there, but we know this is a long time. And there's some people who left the area, so there are other places. So, you know, we knew that what they needed is what they need to walk in and get, because we can't tell them what they need. So that's what we did.
In particular, when we're talking about this too, I'm intrigued by, you said at some point there was an excess, and I know this because in my own friend group and everything, we were giving, and they were like, we have too much, you know, we need a pause, because people were so excited to give. With fashion waste being, you know, an issue, how do you guys handle that?
Well, during this in particular situation, a lot of people wanted to donate, and once it was sort of cut off, they were calling us saying, "Can you take it for those impacted by the fires?" We didn't do that specifically. We couldn't tell them, "Yes, your shirt will be," but what we told them is, "Keep donating because we are giving," and it was just amazing how people from all over the country really were coming forward. So what we do, and this is really our general practice, is when we have something donated, we like to keep it in that same neighborhood where it was donated. There's a process. It's processed and make sure it's clean and it's not broken and all that stuff. Then it goes into our stores. It has a 4-week rotation. When it rotates out, we have clearance centers. We have 4 of them. And we're able to just roll out these big tables, and people come in and they just go through everything, and they find great deals, and it's sold by the pound. So what they can't get in the store or on sale in the store, they could go find it there. We also have online sales. So everything that's been coming to us, we continue to try to get it in the right place before going to landfills. So our region, Southern California, is LA County, Riverside, San Bernardino County. We divert about 166 million pounds a year of goods that people didn't throw in the trash. They brought them to us first. And only about 20% of that ends up having to go to landfills. So we do everything we can.
That's amazing. Wow, I truly was curious how that happened, and that's amazing. So you have everything you sort of need to move forward.
Yeah, and I'd love to also speak on that, because from the moment that we started our organization, my partner Johanna and I were really worried about the fashion waste. We are both, all of our core principles are rooted in sustainability. She owns a sustainable clothing store. So we were constantly thinking about, okay, we're trying to help solve this huge problem, but we cannot create another problem for the city by adding to the fashion waste that ultimately is someone's going to have to get rid of. So there are these incredible companies. For example, we partnered with a company called Trashy, and it's a textile recycling company. And so we had a team of volunteers set up, and we kind of gave them a little training on how to sort through the clothes. So we trained them on, okay, so look and see what kind of shape the garment's in. Is it tattered? Are there holes? Is it wearable? Is it a nice garment that's actually wearable? And if not, we put it in kind of a side. And then all of those things were picked up by our partner Trashy, and they took it to their textile recycling facility. Some stuff they downcycle. They actually kind of make it into material that goes into quilts and things like that. So we were really mindful of how we were going to dispose of the clothing waste.
Wow. See, that is so fascinating to me, because I know of a few of these places, but I don't think that's common. Excuse me. I don't think that's common knowledge, right? So, and I know a big part of your work is also spreading that word out into the world, so that we know there is a place called Trashy that will, take this and make.
And there are many. There's another amazing one that's a little bit more local called Sway. So Sway, Trashy, I really want us all to take a look at these amazing organizations who are helping us solve this huge, fashion waste problem.
Yep. Our climate continues to be unstable, as we like to call it. Do you feel as if you would be prepared for the next natural disaster?
For Goodwill, I think the fact that we're able to jump in and help at a moment's notice, we really are. We take care of our community, we take care of our employees. We've got almost 3,000 employees. A lot of them lower income. They come to Goodwill to get jobs because they have a hard time finding jobs, so we train them. I think also internally, we've been changing some of the ways we do things. We are working on, as she was talking about, taking textiles and other things and breaking them down, making them into something else. We're also changing to electric forklifts instead of gas-powered forklifts. So a lot of things we're doing internally to help us move towards better safety during an emergency. And our Goodwill has been in Los Angeles 109 years this year.
Wow.
So, our process has just gotten better and better, and the people that we help is pretty amazing. Last year we helped 33,000 people with job services. So, yeah, I think we're ready.
Wow.
Incredible, yeah. I mean, the Goodwill is a incredible 109-year-old organization, and obviously we're a tiny new nonprofit, but we are also really thinking about how we will be able to continue to serve in the face of a volatile climate, and climate change. And I really, when I think about the future of climate change, I think about two things. I think about mitigation. So how can we start to offset some of the impact of climate change? And I think about adaptation. So how can we adapt what we're doing, right, to kind of change our practices and be able to sometimes, to kind of mitigate some of that. So we're really focused on education. So educating our community, we have a lot of events and programming where we bring in experts who talk about the ways that people can kind of change little things, little habits. For example, we all know that a plant-based diet is a great way, a small thing that we can do on an individual level to help offset.
Plant-based diet.
You love it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yes.
we're just kind of thinking about, right now we're thinking about education, right? How can we educate all of us, and including myself, right? And how can we continue to kind of spread that messaging?
How do you find the easiest way to educate?
It's hard, right? You have to really engage people, and I think my training as a therapist in community mental health has helped me understand how to engage with people in a way that will get their attention. But I think really relying on the experts. For example, we partnered with Marine Mammal Care Center, and they're actually addressing the emergency of the marine mammals who are affected by climate change. So the domoic acid, the toxic algae bloom that's happening in LA right now is
Yes.
getting worse because of climate change, and we all need to kind of help be aware of that. And so bringing in those experts to really talk about it in their field of expertise, right?
I want to say too, Elizabeth, the kind of work that you're doing and just sprung up in an emergency, it's resilient. It's going to keep going. There's a need, and I really applaud you for jumping in and doing that so quickly, and then keep thinking about what else. What else can we do? I think that's remarkable.
Thank you so much.
It's really the future. It's where, we hope our kids and our generation is going and thinking this way, because it is knowledge, it's education. And I do think that there are more that can be done in our personal lives that are easier than people think, that are also going to make a huge difference. So that's why I'm really intrigued to hear you say, like, it's education, it's learning these things. And I do want to talk a little bit about the volunteers, because that was something that blew me away in LA, how many people came together and the ways in which we came together. Even my neighborhood, we were so activated and giving to the first responders. And how did you see, what kind of volunteering really stood out to you guys?
Well, Jenna, I know you did a lot of volunteering
I mean-
too, so I would love to hear you talk about your volunteer experience. But you would not believe the volunteers that we had coming to our disaster relief organization every day, every morning, banging down the door to help. We had to, I hate to say this, we had to start turning people away.
I've heard
because
this, yeah.
We had so many people who wanted to volunteer and who were so dedicated to showing up every day. And I think, again, it's a horrible disaster, but in the wake of something like this, we get
Yeah.
to see how resilient our community is and how resilient Angelinos are, and how people really do want to help. They really do. Maybe they don't know exactly how to help, but they really want to help.
That's so true. And I do feel like that was what made this moment feel a little different, was I saw the outpouring of unity of people wanting to come together, and people were being very forthright about how to do that. Organize, come to this corner, bring this, we need this. And I do feel like there was something in that was really interesting, and it brought more people to help. Yes.
Yeah, it really did. So we partnered with the Red Cross because they run all the shelters, and it was really remarkable to see. They had beds, they had showers, they had bathrooms, they had laundry, like immediately. And they had, I don't even know how many, honestly, several thousand people in the shelters. There were 6 initially. And we were looking for volunteers from our staff, who have regular jobs. And the Red Cross said, we have so many people wanting to volunteer. We can't take them all. We will assign volunteers to you. So every day that we were at the shelter, we had volunteers. One was an Imagineer from Disney. Another one was a concert promoter. Another one was a young man from Russia who was a college student. All the people that wanted to help, I put them to work. That was what was amazing to me. And every one of them did not know each other. And by the end of the day, we were all friends. And we still text sometimes.
That's amazing. I know several people that met through volunteering in this process and have become great friends, and they've created a community. And it's so, the community created community. And I think for the first time we saw that was possible in our city.
For sure. And when we think about disaster relief and what we can all give, we think about the 3 T's: our time, our treasure, and our talents. So kind of reflect, what of those 3 T's can I give? So each of our volunteers kind of thought, what are my talents? What could I get? For example, almost like you're saying with the engineer, we had a cartoonist who came, and he was drawing cartoons of people coming in, and it sounds silly, but it spreads
Lifted the mood.
It spread so much joy. We had photographers coming in who were taking family portraits to replace the photos that had been lost. So really kind of think about what are my unique talents or treasures that I could give in a disaster relief.
I think that just changed my life. Wait, time, talent, treasures.
Yeah.
That's incredible, because I feel like well, at least in my group and friends, we sort of did that, but without the knowledge, so I can't do this, but I can give this. And I think it's important for everyone to realize that whatever you can give at any point is valuable, and we learned that with these fires 1,000%. That's amazing. Is there anything you guys felt in the community coming together needed to be better for the next disaster, or was there anything that you felt would have been constructive for us, as a community and as a world listening to this, that is helpful?
I think what you were talking about is, are we ready for the next one? I really think that people, it was just a, knee-jerk reaction. I want to do something, I'm going to donate stuff. I think if people took a minute and really saw what the need is, they talk to their children and say, these people have nothing, we're going to help. Let's look in your closet and see what we can give to other kids. I think if people sort of start thinking about those sorts of things ahead of time, I think it would be really helpful. Then we wouldn't have this huge pile of clothing and things that are going to be, end up being destroyed. So I think it's really come forward, bring your time, treasure, talent, and share it. Teach, as you were saying, teach our young people.
Yeah, and moving forward, as like I said in the beginning, a lot of times this happened, and it happened, and people kind of move on with lives. And what are some actionable things that can happen now to continue help? Because there are so many families devastated. There are people that still don't have homes, and I know the Altadena community in particular is extremely still in it. What can we do now? What are some other actionable things we can do?
Yeah, I think let's just not forget. I think it's easy for many of us who, maybe didn't lose our homes to kind of forget about it. But I think let's not forget and maybe pick one community organization, whether it's Red Cross or Goodwill or Sustainable Joy that you want to kind of check in with on a weekly or monthly basis and continue to stay involved with, because these organizations, we're going to stay involved with the community, right? So maybe each individual can pick your favorite organization you want to support and just really stay plugged in.
Yeah. And is it daily? Is it in-person volunteering that's needed, or is it more, is it financial support? Is it awareness? Like, if there were one way you would say for each of the organizations, would you guys put out there so that people listening know how? Is there a particular way?
We take donations already, so I think monetary donations are really important. They help us support programs we don't already have funding for. So I don't think people think of that when they think of some organizations. And when someone's starting up one, they absolutely need financial support to make it grow. So I think right now, that's probably the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and supporting people like our first speaker who invented this incredible detection advice to detect when fires are coming. I mean, I think we need to support innovators like that too. I think that's really important.
That for me is really interesting too, is finding where we can get in and help, and also what the new wave of that is, because I know there's a lot with the tech world, and just there's so many interesting ways that just you have to get awareness of it and awareness out. And I think that's one good way in which social media is being used. I know we were talking about that. Do you see that happening still post fires on social media? Is that something that's helping you guys at the moment?
Absolutely. Social media was the most effective, quickest way that we were able to communicate with our community survivors and our volunteers to kind of let everyone know what we need. That's why EMA is so amazing, because Impact Summit, we're all going to learn, all of these things that we didn't know. So staying involved with organizations like EMA, who really do a great job of keeping all of it on social media and educating us, right? I think that's the key to staying on top of it.
It was a positive. We talk a lot about the negatives of social media. I found it during this time, it was positive. It helped organize us all. And same, I'm sure, with Goodwill, there's a lot of need to bring that awareness out. I could sit up here and talk forever and ever and ever, but I'm seeing the time is up. I really appreciate this time with you guys. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Your knowledge, your experience, it's so inspiring to me. And thank you guys all for coming. I hope you enjoyed this.
If I could mention one more thing.
Yes.
So Stix was supposed to be here, and as you mentioned, his wife's in labor. But he created an amazing organization as well. It's called Think Watts, which is in Watts. And again, he jumped right in. He found cars for people. He found all kinds of things that people needed. And I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that, because what he's done is really, really remarkable. And again, it's Watts. It's not really near the fire areas, but again, the community coming together.
Yeah, he is incredible with community service. We very much miss him, and his spirit is felt. But yes, absolutely. Shout out. Stix is amazing.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. That was so fun.
Appreciate it. Thank you.